Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. It's your one-stop shop for everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. I'm Bob Matthews. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a day of it. Well, here we are. We are at the precipice here. Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, Northwest Stadium. We get the season started. Commanders and Giants. Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady on the call for Fox Sports. Fox is sending its number one team to do the game. So let's go ahead and talk about what we think we're going to see. Commanders, I think, I know we've heard a lot of talk this week about, the Giants are going to be a little feisty. They're better than they were last year. The Commanders, better watch out or else, yada, yada, yada. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds a lot like what we've heard about the Commanders before last year. Well, if this happens, or if that happens, or I think this guy who wasn't that good last year is going to be a lot better this year, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Too many unknowns for the Giants. And quite frankly, I think Washington just has the better roster. So for everybody out there that's thinking this is, going to be closer than the 6.5-point spread, I think Washington's going to win it pretty easily. Could be close in the first half, but I think late third, fourth quarter, they pull away on this one. And it's, I think it starts them on the road to being one of the dominant teams in the NFC this year. The Giants just have way too much going on, both on and off the field. Brian Daboll's on the hot seat. You've got a quarterback in Russell Wilson who just doesn't have it anymore, and an inexperienced rookie, Jackson Dart, that they want to give a start to, but they can't do it just yet. I think they will before about the fifth week of the season, but by and large, I just think the Commanders are not just a better team, a vastly better team. You look at what, even when we go into the keys for the game, some of the things that the Giants did well last year, I think Adam Peters in the front office specifically addressed. The Giants ran the ball really well against Washington last year. Well, he went and beefed up the defensive line. You had Malik Neighbors torch him for 127 yards and a touchdown through the air last year at Northwest Stadium. Well, they went out and drafted Trey Amos, a defensive back traded for Marshawn Lattimore, drafted Amos, traded for Lattimore, and addressed their secondary. I just think that this one, could it be close in the first half? Yeah, I think it might be close in the first half, but in the end, Washington's going to pull away. You ask me a prediction on the final score, 31-20 in favor of the Commanders. As far as the injury report goes, pretty much the same yesterday as it was the day before. But there was one interesting thing on the Giants report. In fact, it was the only thing on the Giants report, and that's left tackle Andrew Thomas, who Brian Daboll said just didn't practice on Thursday because kind of a veteran maintenance day. But remember, he's coming off list frac surgery. He's coming off foot surgery in the offseason. Is he going to be good to go? Yeah, I imagine he'll probably play, but he did not participate at all in offseason workouts, didn't do much during training camp. So it's not going to shock me if, he's not active on game day. If he is, I think he could be limited in what he can do, and that gives the Commanders a real opportunity to let Von Miller and the rest of the rushers, get some pressure on Russell Wilson when he does go back to throw. Again, Russ is not nearly as mobile, as fast, and as slippery as he has been in years past. So the three keys to the game. What are the three most important things, in my opinion at least, for the Commanders to do in order to win this game? First off, they got to control the New York running game. Like I said, it's not just last year, but historically, Big Blue has run and run well against Washington. And it's not just that, it's not just that historical thing, that you got to worry about, but the better the Giants run potentially, again, less pressure you've got on Russell Wilson to make plays. I want to see Russell Wilson have to win the game for the Giants. I hope that Joe Witt and the defense decides, okay, hey, Russ, you go and win this game for him. I want him to give, because I don't think he can do it, obviously. Second key, I think, dominate the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. Again, we've talked about it before, but this is where Adam Peters really spent a lot of time in the offseason getting this team better. Brian Robinson last year, and obviously B-Rob's been traded, but had a great game at FedEx against the Giants. Shows you the Giants defense can be run against. So hopefully, Bill Krosky-Merritt, Austin Eckler, Chris Rodriguez, et cetera, et cetera. All of those guys, and Deebo Samuel as well, they're able to run. The more they can run, the better the play action game goes for the Commanders, and the better it's going to be for Jaden Daniels. And speaking of which, of course, obviously, Jaden's the third key to this game. Just let Jaden be Jaden, man. The guy is a cheat code out there. He is, actually getting some run for MVP, voting as far as, you look at the FanDuel sites and things like that saying, hey, he's not the favorite, but he's getting up there. And obviously, he's the best player on the field. So put the ball in the hands of the best player and let him go and win the game for you. And by the way, that's exactly what I think he's going to do. I really expect a huge year for Jaden this year. Finally, let's go ahead and hit the mailbag. As always, we love it when you guys drop some comments. If you want, drop your comments. Either drop your comments on what you think the keys to the game are, or since we'll be off on Saturday and Sunday, go ahead after the game, log back on, and give me your thoughts on how things turn out on Sundays. KZH7475 said they listed the running backs in order of their age when talking about the depth chart, out of respect for the older players, which makes sense, I guess. If they did, fine. I wouldn't put too much into that depth chart. I still think that unless for some reason Merritt wasn't, had some problems in practice this week that we don't know about, I still expect him to see him get a ton of carries on Sunday. Finally, this one from it is from KZH again, who said, I sure hope that KZH, thanks for being so active this week. Sure hope there is a kicker on the practice squad. Because you're nervous about Matt Gay right now. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about him too. Does he make it through the season? I'm not sure. No kickers on the practice squad right now, but that's a pretty easy one to go out and get if, in fact, you do have to get another one. But hey, let's just hope Matt Gay was, using training camp to get in shape, and there's no, we have no problems with him once Sunday kicks off. Well, that's going to do it for us for now. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Drop us a comment. Hey, enjoy week one, man. The 2025 season is finally here. We'll talk all about the game and recap it on Monday. Enjoy. Like the wise man once said, if you're on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.